Today we're talking about Woodrow Wilson, and was he one of the worst U.S. presidents in history? Let's get into it. So Woodrow Wilson was the 28th President of the United States, being born on December 28, 1856, and dying on February 3, 1924. Now Woodrow Wilson is most famously known for winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 1919, and serving America and being the President of the United States when it was in World War I. But few know that he had a very, you could call it racist motivation, or racist personality. Sorry, my dogs are barking. It's annoying. So, let's just kind of start with early life. Woodrow Wilson actually didn't know how to read till he was 10 years old, so he was illiterate for the first 10 years of his life. But before becoming president, he actually served as the 34th governor of New Jersey, and he also was the 13th president of Princeton University. Now, Woodrow Wilson was born in Virginia in 1856, like I said. So he did actually live through the Civil War. So he saw the Civil War basically take place. He was a Democrat, and he was he's a Democrat, and he was 67 when he died. So very interesting, very common age. He died of a stroke, I believe. He actually caught the Spanish flu. When the Spanish flu epidemic hit America, so he actually caught that. But that was after World War I. And let's just kind of talk about. So one of the main reasons is why he's known, because during his time, some major things happened. Number one is that the Ku Klux Klan saw its height. And, of course, Wilson didn't do anything about it. And he actually sometimes even, you could tell he supported the Ku Klux Klan. As you guys know, the Ku Klux Klan is a white supremacist group. You can probably recognize them. They have like the white hoods and white, gowns. And, the flaming cross. I will probably make a video on that sometime in the future. But yeah, I wouldn't say he was a racist. I think some people think he was a racist, and, they actually have some evidence that's pretty, I think, kind of makes him a racist, I guess. Now, this is kind of my opinion in this case. I can understand why some people can disagree, and, it's okay to disagree. So one of the first kind of main reasons is, of course, I said the KKK saw its highest point, members, and, terrorizing, black civilians. Also, he was the first president to screen a movie at the White House, and of course what he chose was The Birth of a Nation. Now, if you're thinking it's a Revolutionary War movie, then, well, you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I don't know, I've never seen it, and I've heard very little about it. I tried to look up on the internet, but it's another movie. But basically it's about how black men, and just black people in general, but mostly men, are kind of seen as brutes and as evil, who are just terrorizing innocent white people. Basically, white supremacist propaganda. And Wilson was, proudly, showing it, to people. He was very proud. And now, of course, that doesn't mean he's a racist, but it kind of gives us an idea that he probably judged people on their skin color. Another thing is the UDC, the United Daughters of the Confederacy, which I think a lot of people have heard about. They're basically trying to restore the lost cause. They've kind of been in the controversies this past year, because if you see all the statues that have like Confederate, generals and presidents and anything kind of historically to the Confederacy, they have monuments there, and most of them were done by the UDC. And during Wilson's presidency in 1914, he basically, in Arlington Cemetery, actually opened up a memorial. Proudly, he was actually very happy about it. A memorial dedicated to Confederate soldiers, which, if you know what Arlington is, it's the most prestigious cemetery in the United States, and it's actually built right next to General Lee's home, and it is kind of strange, and, why should these rebels be, here? So it was kind of, now that really, I don't know if that was considered a very racist move. He just proudly showed it off. Another thing is that lynching, which, if you don't know, it's kind of like hanging. Hanging of black people increasingly increased because of not fair justice system. It was actually very high, and he really did nothing to do it. Actually, I think he didn't really care. And I guess from those things we could tell is, and yeah, another reason that I don't really concern, and in 1916 when he was, elected, he said he would keep the nation out of war. That was kind of his election slogan, he kept us out of war. But, a year later, he was bringing us into war. Now, I'm not trying to, argue that was not right for the U.S. against the war, but, it's kind of, when you say something, it's kind of not that smart to just rip off a bunch of people, just rip off the rest of people. He was buried in Washington National Cathedral, but whatever you say about him, he was the president. A lot of people respected him, and even if you didn't respect him, I remember when I first saw him, I thought he looked like a really classy guy because he got those glasses. But yeah, so I personally believe he would probably be in like the top. I believe that he was probably not the worst U.S. president, but definitely I could see him being ranked in the top 10. And frankly, he was, I would say, racist. I wouldn't say extremely, like he didn't, but I would consider him, a bit racist. But this is all my opinions, and kind of, well, it's not my opinions because actually this stuff is documented, but it's my opinion that he's racist. So if you don't agree with me, I'm cool with that. It's kind of like we said in most of my videos. If you don't agree, please feel free to leave in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.